Happy Friday, everybody. It's so lovely to be back again after a little unexpected break last week. Thank you for showing up today and thank you for coming in to do a little work and get some movement going into your day. Grab a cushion if you'd like one for when we're on hands and knees. Otherwise, I think that's all we need to do and say before we get up to our mats. So we'll make our way up there now. Let's stand up nice and tall toward the part of our mat farthest from the screen. We're going to bring our heels shoulder width apart, and then let's turn our toes to face gently outward. I'm aiming mine toward the front bottom corners of the room. I want you to aim yours wherever it's natural for your legs. We'll soften up our knees, bend them up just a little bit so that the tailbone can drop down a little closer to the floor. If you feel safe doing so, close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, we're going to notice maybe there's a little bit of sway introducing itself into the equation. We might be shifting a little bit forward and a little bit back. We might be shifting from one side to the other. We might notice that one part of our foot is taking up a little bit more of the weight than others. Pay attention to it, notice it, take a big breath in. And then on the exhale, we'll open up our eyes and settle our weight right down into our heels. Spread your toes away from each other. We're going to feel those foot bones spread away. We'll feel a stretch across the instep and across the arch of the foot potentially. Maybe all the way to the inside and all the way to the outside of those feet along the borders of our big toes, the borders of our pinkies. We're going to scrunch our toes back toward our heels, allowing those arches to lift up off the mat. We'll spread the toes apart again, plant them into the mat, and scrunch them up again. We're trying to keep the ball of the foot on the floor, and we're just sliding it back gently toward the heel. Spread the toes, place them on the mat, and scrunch them up again. Release and spread those toes, and one more time, scrunch the ball of the foot back toward the heel. Spread those toes away from each other and plant the big toe, the pinky, and the heel now again firmly into the mat. Let's breathe in, and exhaling, we'll draw belly and spine gently toward each other. And from here, we'll feel that seatbelt of muscles engaging all the way around the rib cage, from the lowest ribs down to the pelvis, all the way down to the pubic bone in front. Let's shrug and release our shoulders, sliding those blades up and down along the back side of the rib cage. Let's squeeze and release those blades, opening up the chest as we squeeze, picturing our collarbones coming away from the center of the body. Squeeze and release them. We'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down through some backward circles, maybe introducing a little bit of noise, a little bit of crunchiness into the mix here. Drop the blades down, and let's tip our heads side to side, lengthening out through the side of the neck and the top of the shoulder on the side our head is moving away from. We'll take it one more time to the other side and then come up nice and tall. Give the chin a little nod back toward the neck and turn that head. Let's look toward one side wall and toward the other, and repeat it. Turn and look over one shoulder, and we turn and look over the other. Facing forward again, let's take our hand to our breastbone. We're going to press back toward the breastbone and gently draw down toward the bottom of the breastbone and that navel. We'll feel a little bit of superficial stretch right around the collarbones. And let's look up to the ceiling. Feel that jawline lengthen out, and look down to the hands. Let the back of the neck lengthen out. Again, look up to that jawline. And look down to the hand. We're going to take our hand to one collarbone, draw down again, tip the head to the side, and give that chin a little nod. We'll feel some length out above the front of our ear. We'll come up tall, switch hands, draw that collarbone down, and side bend away from it, nodding that chin, feeling a little stretch around the ear. Let's bring that head up nice and tall and sweep the arms up and overhead. Clasp the fingers, press them toward the ceiling, looking toward those hands. And then as we look forward, we're going to let those blades slide gently down the back side of the body. Depending on how much tension we have through the trunk and armpits, maybe those elbows are a little bit bent, maybe they're straight. We do our best to straighten them out a bit. And let's breathe out, taking a nice tall side bend toward one side of the room. Inhale up to the ceiling with those hands, and breathing out, we tip over toward the opposite side. Inhale up tall, exhale, side bend, lift the rib cage up off the pelvis. Inhale up tall, and breathing out, we take one more side bend. Press that body up nice and tall. We'll open our arms out to T and turn the palms to face our screen. Let's step our feet a touch further away from each other, bend the knees a little bit more, and slide the hands forward till we can just see our thumbs wiggling in our peripheral vision. Inhale here and breathe out again, engaging belly and spine toward each other. Let's turn from that breastbone, rotating that body from one side to the other, spinning the top half of the body on that long axis that goes from the head all the way to the tail. We'll breathe right back to center, circle shoulders. We're going to chase some circles on those outer walls, imagining spreading our collarbones as wide away from the midsection as we can. Let's take our circles the other direction. Feel the tops of the shoulders doing a little bit of work here. We pause those arms, bring the hands back till they line up with our trunk. We're no longer going to be able to see our thumbs, and then squeeze those shoulder blades together, taking the backs of the hands toward the wall behind us. Feel that chest open up, and we pulse the hands to the wall behind. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's take those arms down. We'll give the shoulders a couple more shrugs. We release them, and we turn our toes to face forward so the feet are parallel in that wide position. Let's take the pinky sides of our hands right to where those femur bones fold into the pelvis. Tuck the elbows in by the sides, and moving from our hips, we take our tailbone back and the crown of the head toward the screen in front of us. We're going to feel some length or just a stopping point behind those thighs. If you don't feel like you have much room to move here, bend those knees a little bit more. Holding here, we're going to rest our elbows on the middle of each thigh, and let's tip our tailbone up and down. Feel a little wiggle. Lengthen through the backs of those thighs. And then we come right back to our slight mini squat position. Squeeze your glutes, feel the outer hips engage, and reach those fingertips toward the mat. Moving into a row, we tuck our elbows up by our trunk as we squeeze our blades together. And then we reach forward toward the mat with straight elbows. Tuck the elbows in by the sides and straighten the arms, bringing the fingertips to the wall behind. Bend and straighten the elbows, feeling the backs of the arms engage. One more time, bend them up, straighten them out. We'll swing our hands down toward our ankles, bring everything up nice and tall, arms in a Y, and let's take our arms down by our sides as we narrow up our base of support. Feet stay parallel, our heels are lined up under our sit bones, and we've shifted our weight from our heels to just in front of our ankle joints. So our center of gravity is a touch forward, maybe an inch to inch and a half forward of where it was when those feet were wide. Soften up those knees again, and we'll take our fingertips and our thumbs, and we're going to circle that waistline. So our thumbs are in back and our fingertips in front. As we press the fingers and thumbs toward each other, we're surrounding our oblique muscles a bit. We're going to take belly and spine, draw them toward each other again, feel the fingertips and thumbs come closer together, and we'll feel some tension in those muscles underneath them. Let's lift up our toes, allow those arches to go along for the ride. We should naturally do so. We'll spread our toes apart and then tap them down one at a time. Pinky first, big toe last. Little balance and coordination moves, spread and tap. Lift them up, spread them apart, tap the toes down, and we do that one more time. Lift them up, spread the toes apart, tap them to the floor, and as the big toes press into the mat, we're going to shift our weight forward, taking our body as far as we can over those toes without letting our heels lift up off the mat. Let's shift back toward our heels, moving as one line from ankle all the way up to the crown of the head. Again, moving as far as we can, this time until we can barely keep those toes on the mat. Shift forward and back, move at a speed that makes sense for you, taking it through a range you can control. What we'll notice if we press our fingertips and our thumbs toward the middle of the body, we're going to feel some tension through those muscles, some activation through those muscles at the end range. We feel our shins kicking in, we feel our calves, the sides of the lower legs, maybe even a little bit of glute and quad engagement as well. Let's come back over those front of those ankle joints again and push our weight from foot to foot. Again, we have one line from the ankle all the way up to each shoulder. And as we push the weight from side to side, it's a little more pronounced this time. We're going to feel those side muscles kicking into our fingertips around the waistline. We'll feel the sides of our hips engaging. We'll feel the sides of our lower legs, our feet, maybe even a little bit of inner thigh work. Shift to one side, and now we circle our base of support. Again, just like when we were going forward and back, we're keeping our toes and our heels pressed firmly into the floor. And we're going to feel those muscles turn on and off underneath our fingertips and all through the lower half of the body. Pause with the weight over the balls of the feet, and let's take a big breath in. As we exhale, we take that circle the other direction. Again, the big toe, the pinky, and that heel on both sides are pressed firmly into the mat. We have one more circle, and we're going to wind up with our weight over the balls of the feet. Spread your toes away from each other, press the big toes and pinkies firmly into the floor, and we're going to keep them both pressed into the floor on both sides. Let's shift our weight forward far enough that we can hover our heels up efficiently off the mat. It shouldn't be a ton of effort. We will feel the soles of the feet working. We may feel our calves doing some work. We may feel our hamstrings engaging. If you want to make this tougher, let's go up and down on the toes. Lift and lower, even if it's just a millimeter in each direction. Make those calf muscles contract. 4, 3, 2. Last one, keep the weight forward over the toes as we lower our heels. Once the heels touch the mat, we soften our knees and shift back over the front of our ankle joints. Shake out those legs. Take your hands away from the waistline, open and close those fingers. And we're going to swing our hands forward till they reach shoulder level. Elbows will stay straight. Let's point our fingertips down toward the floor. Lengthen out through the forearms. We're getting those muscles prepped to bear some weight. Palms face the ceiling and the fingertips face forward, lengthening out through the underside of the forearm. Point down and up, down and up. Keep those fingertips facing the ceiling, and we open our arms out toward T, noticing we may get a little stretch through those index and middle fingers as we reach the outer range. Point again, the fingertips go down and up, down and up. Hold those palms facing each side while we're going to tip our head side to side. Come back to center and turn that head side to side. We're gliding those nerves that go from the neck all the way to the fingertips through that matrix of connective tissue that goes through our upper body muscles. All right, arms come down. Shake everything out. Shake those legs out, and let's get ready to make our way down to the mat. Grab your cushion. We're going to place it in the center of the floor and back up a bit. Back up about a shin length away. Let's bring those arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Exhale them out to the sides and down by the thighs. Softening the knees, we're going to bend again from those hips. Take the tailbone back, the crown of the head forward. We bend our knees enough that we can get our hands down to the floor. Let's walk those hands forward. Get your knees situated over any extra padding that you might want. And we're going to try to keep the balls of the feet pressed into the floor. If your toes will not allow you to do this, feel free to turn the tops of the toes down to the mat. If you're on the balls of the feet here, we're going to do our best to press our big toes and our pinkies firmly into the floor. Draw belly to spine. We're going to exhale, curling up to cat. Breathe in, let the belly fill, and we take our bodies the other direction for cow. Curl to cat. Release to cow. One more time, curl to cat. Take it to cow. Bring that trunk back to the center. Upper body stays still as we fold our pelvis from side to side. Wag that tail. Come on back to center. Keep that core active. Bend your knees, bend through the hips, and press the sit bones back toward our heels. If you are on the balls of the feet, we're going to get a stretch through the big toes, maybe through the arches, and maybe even through the deepest part of our calves, just to the side of our Achilles tendons. Holding here, again, we curl through cat and reverse to cow, moving through ranges that work for you. We're emphasizing a little bit more lower back mobility here, so keep that in mind. Let's pull ourselves right back up to all fours. If your toes have been turned under, we're going to press the balls of the feet, take them away, point those toes, and press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Let's slide our toes out just beyond the outer border of the mat. Keep that core nice and active and the pelvis nice and still. We cross one ankle over the other. Tap, cross the other ankle over. Tap and cross and tap and cross. Come on back to neutral, holding here. We squeeze our shoulder blades together. Dropping the breastbone slightly toward the mat. And then we press those breastbones up away from the floor, wrapping the shoulder blades around the front of the body. Squeeze together, press apart. Squeeze and press one more time. Squeeze those blades. Press them toward the floor. Let's take those big toes together, bring our knees apart, and we rock the bottom back to our heels. Press gently into the heels of the hands to allow those sit bones to come a little closer to our heels. Let's drop to our forearms. Slide the elbows in toward the inner knee joint lines, and we'll shift our weight from side to side. Press through those forearms. Coming back to center, we slide the hands toward the head of the mat. Walk those fingertips forward a little bit, and let's lower that forehead down, resting the head between the arms. If it's not stressful to do so, if it's not too much strain, drop your forehead toward the mat, and we're going to give that chin a little nod to support the muscles in the back of the neck. Let's rock our breastbone from side to side, allowing that trunk to rotate along for the ride. And we're going to feel the outer borders of our shoulder blades and the back side of that upper back, lengthening out right over those shoulder blades. Coming back to center, drop to the forearms again, and let's shift our weight over those elbows. Shoulders and elbows are lined up. Our forearms are parallel to each other. We're going to lengthen the legs back behind the body. So if you do have anything under your knees, anything extra, take that cushion out from under you, rest it up at the head of your mat. Let's draw belly to spine again, press through the hands, and send that breastbone up toward the bottom third of the wall in front of us. We're going to keep that core active. Squeeze your blades together. Breastbone comes down toward the mat. Press through the breastbone. Forearms pressing into the mat. Shoulder blades pressing toward the floor. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. Last two. Squeeze and press. Squeeze those blades together and press them toward the floor. Let's turn that body toward the screen. Tuck the forearm underneath us. And we turn over onto our backs. Bend up the knees, lining the heels up with the sit bones, and our arms are going to remain resting by our sides. Take a big breath in here, and exhaling, we nod the chin gently toward the neck. We drop our breastbone toward the mat, and we take our lowest ribs and drop them down toward the floor as well. We should feel a little heavier through that rib cage, a little more heaviness, engaging and drawing those bones down toward our mat. We're going to reset belly to spine here, and picture that clock face on our pelvis. We have 12 and 6 up by the breastbone, down by the pubic bone. We have 3 and 9 at either side of the pelvis. Let's curl the pubic bone toward the breastbone, engaging and rocking that pelvis to 12 o'clock. We'll take our tailbone toward the heels, tipping the pelvis forward towards 6 o'clock. Curl to 12. Take it to 6. Let's rock back and forth between those two positions, doing our best to keep those collarbones wide, that upper body nice and still, and those ribs nice and still as well. Coming back to neutral, we'll rock the pelvis away from the screen. That screen side hip lifts as the opposite side floats down toward the floor for 3. Bring that pelvis right back to center and lift the far side, rocking and rotating that pelvis toward our screen for 9 o'clock. Roll through center, rock to 3. Roll through center, rock to 9. We'll feel that we're pressing our feet asymmetrically into the mat to control the position of those thighs as we rock the pelvis on a relatively stable leg on each side. Rock it to 3. Take it back to 9 and come right back to center. Big breath in. Breathing out, we keep that belly and spine connection. We flip our palms to face the ceiling. Let's slide those arms out along the mat, finding the first point of stretch in the chest and pausing right there. Again, we nod the chin, drop the breastbone, drop those ribs, and re-engage belly to spine. Turn that head. We're going to look side to side toward our screen and toward that far wall. We're opening up through the chest, particularly on the side we're looking away from. Let's look right back to center and bring those arms to the ceiling. Wrap the blades up to the ceiling, lower them down to the mat. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, lower them down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach, and exhale, lower. Let's float our knees up to tabletop. One at a time, we take an arm out to the side. Bring that arm out to the screen. Inhale it right back to the ceiling. Exhale the opposite arm out to the far wall. Inhale it to the ceiling. Exhale, hand to the screen. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, hand to the far wall. Inhale, hand to the ceiling. Let's bend those elbows, press the hands and the thighs toward each other, and feel the engagement through the front of the trunk as we continue to press the hands and thighs toward each other without letting those hips move. Breathing in, we straighten our knees, toes to the ceiling. Exhaling, we take it back to tabletop. Inhale and straighten, exhale and bend. Inhale and straighten, exhale and bend. One final time. Inhale, straighten, exhale and bend. Flex the feet, circle those toes one way. We'll circle them the other way. We point those toes forward and pull the screen side leg into the body. Let's slide that opposite leg out nice and straight along the mat. We're going to grab onto our knee with the screen side hand, rock that knee out toward the screen. Take it back to center and rock it over to the far wall, lengthening out through the side of the hip. Rock that knee out toward the screen and rock it toward the far wall. Come on back to center. Keep a hold of that knee by clasping the hands over the top of the shin. We keep that core active and we hover our other straight leg off the mat. Let's take that straight leg side to side, moving from the hip joint, keeping the rest of the body nice and still. One more time, toes stretching forward. We circle the wall in front of us for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nod the chin to take a look at that kneecap. Circle the leg the other way. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale the knee back into the center and slide the other leg out in front, dropping the back of the knee to the floor, clasping the hands and pulling that shin in toward the body. We'll take that knee and draw it out to the far wall with the same side hand. We take it over and cross it toward our screen. Again, rock that knee out to the far wall and cross it over toward the screen. Let's pull it back to center, dropping the shoulders away from the ears and hover that straight leg off the mat. Take that leg side to side. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle the wall in front of you, nodding the chin to take a look at that kneecap. There's 2. 1, big breath in, and exhaling, we take our circle the other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause in that hovered position, the toes stretching as far away from that pulled in knee as we can. Reset belly to spine, switch legs, pull and press. Switch and press, switch and press, switch and press, switch and press. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen that hovered leg down to the mat. We'll hold on behind our lifted thigh and kicking the thigh into the hands. We stretch our toes up to the ceiling, lengthening through the knee. If it goes straight, great. If it doesn't make it all the way straight, that's okay. We go through your ankle. If there's nothing going on at the ankle because of tightness, bend your knee a little bit, give it a little more slack. Pointing the toes to the ceiling, we'll take our arms up to the ceiling as well and drop the blades and that navel down to the mat. Take that lifted leg out from side to side. Moving from the hip joint, the pelvis stays nice and still. That breastbone is right in the center, facing the ceiling. Out toward the screen and over to the far wall. And we go one more time. Out toward the screen, toward the far wall. And let's circle the ceiling here for 4, 3, 2, and breathe in at the top. Exhaling, we take our circle the other direction. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug that knee into the body. Big breath in. Exhaling, release those muscles in the front of the hip. We draw the other knee in to meet it, and we switch legs. Lengthen down. Hang on behind the lifted thigh. Kick that thigh into the hands and extend through the knee. Toes coming toward the ceiling. Flex and point the toes. Again, adjusting as needed at your knee to allow for that ankle movement. We draw belly to spine. We keep our lifted leg where it is and reach the arms to the ceiling, dropping the blades down to the floor. Reset belly to spine as needed, and we take our lifted leg from side to side. Here's 4, and 3, 2, and last one. Cross the body, sweep that leg to the ceiling, circle, and to the ceiling. 2 more this direction. Last one, breathe in at the top and exhaling, we take that circle the other way. There's 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw that knee into the body. Release the front of the hip as we exhale. Inhale the other knee to center and give that body a side to side rock, allowing that low back to melt down into the floor. We'll breathe back into center. Hang on behind those lifted thighs. We're going to bring those legs back to tabletop, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And let's split our arms to the ceiling as well. Flex up the feet, and we take one heel at a time down to the mat before lifting back to tabletop and repeating on the other side. Walk through at a speed that makes sense for your body. Lower both heels if you want to take it further. Exhale, heels to the mat. Inhale and back up. Exhale, heels down. Inhale and lift. Exhale, heels down. Inhale and lift. Last time through. Exhale, heels down. Inhale them up. Point those toes. Stretch the legs to the ceiling, gluing the ankles and knees together. If they need to be bent, that is completely fine. We reset belly to spine. Drop those blades down to the mat and move to corkscrew. Circle the ceiling with both legs moving together. We'll feel our feet shifting on each other as we move. That's okay. Challenge it if you'd like by taking that circle a little slower and a little bigger. Breathe in at the top. As we breathe out, we take our circle the other direction. Get that motion. Feel the feet shifting on each other. And we can challenge a little more with 2 more bigger circles. One more time. Feet sweep to the ceiling. We exhale to V and inhale feet together. Take them to V. Bring those feet together 2 more times. Take them to V. Bring them together, take them to V, hold them in V, bending the knees. We take our toes together for frog. Reset belly to spine and then press forward toward the top of the wall in front of us. Inhale to frog and exhale, press. Inhale to frog, exhale, press. Inhale to frog and exhale, press. Let's bend our knees, take the heels down in line with our bottom. Sit bones width apart and we'll float our hands down to the mat. Let's curl that pelvis 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock and repeat. Curl to 12 and to 6. Coming back to neutral, we rock that pelvis from one side to the other. And we repeat that again. Rock to one side, rock to the other. Come on back to center. Inch those heels a little closer to the bottom. We walk our fingertips down toward our heels and get ready for bridge. Take a big breath in. Breathing out, we widen our collarbones away from the center. We draw the belly to the spine and those lowest ribs down toward the mat. Squeezing the glutes, we press through our heels and lift that bottom toward the ceiling. Lengthen your kneecaps toward the wall in front. And as we press our hands into the mat, we're going to feel a bit of length through the front of the thighs. A little activity through those rear end muscles. Holding here, we want to find the appropriate height of our motion. We do not want to feel this in the low back. You want to feel your glutes. Little hamstring, stretching in the quads. Find your height. Maybe those hips are just an inch up off the mat. Take a big breath in here and breathing out, we lengthen our hips down toward our heels as we lower the trunk. Release the glutes at the bottom, breathing in and exhaling. We reach back up to bridge. Inhale, tap down. Exhale, bridge up. Notice the movement pattern and the breathing changes a little bit as we speed up. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Inhale and tap. Exhale, lift. Hold those hips in the air. We go up and down on our toes. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels come down. Take that breath. Breathing out, we lengthen our body down to the mat. Release the glutes at the bottom. Give those knees a side-to-side rock, allowing your hip to come up on the side we're moving our body away from. Big breath in. Exhale, and we come right back to center. Inhale again. Breathing out, we squeeze and lift those hips. Find the height of your bridge. Hold it there. And one at a time, we take a knee out to each side wall, maintaining that hip lift, maintaining glute engagement, feeling our hamstrings maybe working a touch as well. Knees to the center, breathe it in. Exhale, bridge down. Releasing at the bottom, we give those knees a side-to-side rock. 3, 2, and 1. Come on back to center, big breath in. Belly to spine on the exhale, we squeeze those hips, lifting them up in the air. Let's move through our march, finishing out our bridging series by bringing the knee in toward the same side shoulder. Press your opposite heel firmly into the mat, keeping that pelvis as level as we can. Lift and lower for 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Final foot comes to the mat. We squeeze and lift those hips with a big breath in. Breathing out, lengthen that body down, releasing the glutes at the bottom. Let's bring our ankles and knees together. Open those arms away about 45 degrees away from the center of the body, from those thighs, and rock that lower half away from and toward the screen, allowing your hip to come up on the side the knees are moving away from. Side to side. Come on back to center. Cross that screen side ankle over the far knee. Let that knee come out to its first natural stopping point. And if you still have some slack in the system and can keep the chest and upper body and head and neck nice and still, go ahead and lift that other foot up off the mat. We'll give the body a little side to side rock here. Breathe in as we come back to our quiet center position and switch it up, ankle to knee. Find that first natural stopping point for that knee, and then we lift if we have some slack. Those sides might be different from each other. Rock that body side to side. Breathe back to center and unwind, hugging those knees into the body. Let's take our feet to the floor. We're going to turn toward our screen. Make our way back to all fours. So grab your cushion if you want to have it. Take it right underneath those knees. Once we're here, we settle back into our all fours by curling through cat and cow and coming back to neutral and then wagging that tail from side to side. One more time, and then coming right back to neutral. Reset belly to spine. Let's move to shoulder taps, taking one hand up to the opposite shoulder. Challenging it further if you'd like by bringing your pinkies just to the outer border of the mat. So we're widening that arm position up to challenge our rotation stability. A little bit more. And tap. Hands come right back down under the shoulders. We're going to take our screen side leg back, lift it up, lengthening the toes to the wall behind. We bring our opposite arm forward. Take it back to all fours, lengthen through the other side, arm reaching forward, leg reaching back behind the body. Inhale to all fours, exhale, switch and reach. Inhale to all fours, exhale, switch and reach. Leg stays where it is. We take our hand to the mat, flex up that foot, bring the toes to the floor. Squeeze your blades together, press them toward the mat, reset belly to spine, find plank. Let's take those feet side to side, tapping them first just beyond the outer border of our mat. If you want to make it harder, point that toe, lift and lengthen that leg out toward hip level. Last one. Back to plank, knees come down to our cushion again. Curl through cat. Take it to cow and come on back to center. Shake your wrists out. All right, we are going to take that screen side leg back, arc it to hip level on the other side, and press that foot down into the mat with the outer border of the foot pressing into the floor. We can hold here, lengthening through that inner thigh on the straight leg side, or we can rock the bottom back to the heel and then come right back up on top. Rock back and forth. Rock back and forth. Last time through. Come up tall. Take that screen side arm out to the screen. Breathe in as we look to the hand. Everything else stays nice and still. Thread the needle, reach through to the far wall, and then turn that body. Look as we reach. One more time, arm up and out. Thread it through, big breath out, and we take our hand back to the floor. Let's slide our leg back, draw it into all fours with a big breath in, and breathe that opposite leg back behind the body. Arc it to that side wall, press the foot into the floor when the knee is level with the outstretched toes. Lengthen into that inner thigh, and we hold here or we rock back. Rock 4. Rock 3. Last 2. And one more time. Hold it out there. That far arm reaches out toward the wall. Look to the fingertips. Take a breath. Breathing out, we thread the needle. Look toward the screen, reaching through and letting the trunk follow. Again, up and out with the arm. Exhaling, we thread through. That hand comes right back down to the mat. We slide the leg back and then draw it into all fours. Let's walk our hands back toward the knees. We're going to rise up to an all tall half kneeling position here. Or tall kneeling position rather. Hands are on our waistline. Big breath in. Breathe the belly to the spine and squeeze those glutes a bit, letting the front of the hips come forward a touch. Lean the body back. Find your quads. Feel those legs lengthen out in front. And then we inhale up tall, trunk over those knees. Exhale, lean back. Inhale up tall. 2 more. Exhale, lean back. Inhale up tall. Last one, lean it back. Bring it up tall. Let's hinge from our hips. We'll take ourselves down to the mat. Slide the hands forward as our toes come together and we walk the knees away from each other. Lengthen down toward child's pose. Again, resting the forehead between the arms, either hovered off the mat or pressed into the floor if it's not a strain on your neck to get it there. Big breath in, feel the back side of the body and the sides of our trunk lengthen out. And then exhaling, we walk our hands toward the screen. Pause here, taking a breath. And then exhaling, we walk to the other side. Pause, big breath in. Breathing out, walk the hands forward. We drop to the elbows and shift the weight over them. Take that cushioning out from under the knees and we come to rest on our thighs. Send that breastbone up the wall in front. It's facing the bottom 1/3 of our mat, and of the wall rather, and we reset belly to spine. Let's kick one heel at a time toward the bottom. Either a controlled bend or 2 quick kicks. Repeat. The goal here is to keep the curve in the back nice and steady. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everything comes down. We're going to take a seat on our mat facing the other way. Knees are bent, heels are in front of us, and we're gonna rest on two. We're gonna rock back and get our weight to rest right behind our tailbone. Feet are flexed, toes are pointing up to the ceiling, and elbows are soft as we grab on behind our thighs for a little support. Lean back until you feel that trunk start to engage, and then we're gonna come up onto our tiptoes. Walk your hands away from your thighs if you can, and let's rock our knees side to side. So we're moving from our hip joints, pelvis and trunk, eyeballs, breastbone, all face that wall in front of us. Add a can-can kick if you want. We can stretch one knee straight, crossing that leg toward the opposite wall. Come on back to center, grab the shins and pull the weight up over the front of the sit bones. Trunk and pelvis are lined up here, and we roll our shoulders up, back, and down. Let's take our hands to the outer knee joint lines, elbows press into the sides, and we press our hands and thighs toward each other. Straightening out the elbows, we'll lean our body back again, find that activation through the front of the trunk. Let's open and close one arm at a time, pressing the opposite hand firmly into the outer knee, feeling the lower abdominals, feeling the sides of our trunk engaging. Repeat for 4, 3. The more we press the hands into the thigh, the less we feel our back. And 1. Grab the shins, we pull ourselves up tall, get the shoulders to roll back and down, and the hands come back behind the rear end. Fingertips point to the sides, and we squeeze those shoulder blades together. Send your breastbone up to the top of the wall in front, and we're gonna walk our bottom gently toward our heels, feeling those biceps lengthen out, feeling that chest open up. Pause when you feel like you're getting a nice opening through the chest and biceps. And if you do have a little more slack to give, walk your heels towards your bottom, unweight that rear end, and we lift up toward a reverse tabletop. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the bottom. Shake those wrists out. And we tip our head from side to side. Stay seated in a position that feels comfortable for you as we again tip our head from side to side. Coming back to center, we're going to turn toward our screen. Resting on the bottom arm, we come to a side lying position. Let's take those knees forward. Our top hand's going to stand our waistline. Let's see if we can complete the entire series with our hand on our hip. If you do need support, press your top hand into the mat. Let's lift our waistline up and reset belly to spine before taking our top knee up and down. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move to hydrants. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. We're going to flex that top foot, press it straight to the wall that lines up with our trunk and our legs. So our heel is pointing in a straight line away from our head toward that wall. We'll take that hip up and down. Lift the leg and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep the bottom knee bent. We're going to swing our top leg forward. Point the toes and draw it back. Flex and swing. Point and draw. 2 more. Flex and swing. Point and draw. Flex and swing. Point and draw. Let's go ahead and bend that top knee up so we're lined up in a fire hydrant position. Straighten out your bottom leg and flex that foot. That top knee comes up and down. Fire hydrants. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten out that top leg. Point the bottom toes. Circle the top leg forward. 3, 2, and 1. Circle it backward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse it up and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Reset belly to spine. Lift up that waistline. If you can keep your hand on your hip, do so. Bottom leg comes up and down. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that top leg down. Bend at the knees and give your hip a little pat. Let's reach toward the screen. Breathing in, we take our hand to the ceiling. We look to our fingertips and take a big breath out as we move to open book. Reach the hand to the far wall and then lower it toward the mat. Inhale, arm up, exhale forward. We do that one more time. Arm comes up, inhale, exhale, breathe it back. Inhale, arm up, and breathe it forward. Let's push ourselves up and we'll go over to our other side. We're in the home stretch. Thank you for hanging in here with me. Let's bend that bottom knee, then the top knee as well. Lift up that waistline, take the top hand to the hip. Toes stay together, top knee comes up and down. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift that leg up and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hydro position. Flex both feet. We straighten our top leg out. Swing it forward. Point the toe and draw it back. Flex and swing it forward. Point and draw it back. Flex forward. Point back. Flex forward. Point back. Line up that leg with the trunk, flexing the top foot. We take the leg up and down. Lift and lower. See if you can keep that waistline lift. Lift and lower. Hold it heel. Point the toes. We're going to draw that leg back to fire hydrant. And then we straighten our opposite leg. So top knee stays bent, bottom leg is straight. Flex the bottom foot for a little more stability. Hydrants again. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to hip level. Straighten that leg out. Circle that top leg forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it backward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse that leg up. Hold it here. Hold it up. Point those bottom toes. Reset the waistline. Reset belly to spine. Bottom leg comes up. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes down. Bend the knees up and give your hip a pat. Reach that hand forward and then bring the arm to the ceiling. Inhaling, we look to the fingertips. Breathing out, we move to open book. Sliding that hand to the far wall and down toward the mat. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, reach the screen. Repeat. Arm comes up. Big breath in. Exhale, breathe it back. Inhale, arm to the ceiling. Exhale it forward. Let's go ahead and turn onto our backs. Bend up those knees. Hug them into the body. Rocking everything side to side. Inhale. And exhaling, we come back to center. Let's take that screen side foot down to the mat. Ankle goes up to that screen side knee. If you have a little more slack, we'll lift. And let's shift that lower body from side to side. Breathe back to center. Uncross and repeat on the other side, ankle to knee. Lift if you have the slack and rock. Try to keep that breastbone facing the ceiling. Feel the opening in the hip. Feel that opening change a little bit as we rock. Come on back to center. Unwind. Those knees get one more final hug into the body. We take our feet to the floor. Let's turn over toward our screen. Grab your cushion if you'd like it and meet me right back up on hands and knees. Let's curl through cat and cow and repeat it one more time. Curl it up to cat and through to cow. Coming back to the middle, we'll give our tail a little wag. Coming back to center, we turn those toes under. Press the bottom back to the heels, pressing the big toe and that pinky firmly into the floor. One more time, we curl through cat and cow. Walk the hands back to the knees and we'll shift our weight over to our feet. Rising once we get our weight over the front of our ankle joints. Let's stand up nice and slow with control. Take a moment at the top to get your bearings and we'll meet in the center of our mat. Let's get our feet shoulder width apart. Turn those toes to face outward, heels turn toward each other, and our weight is settled back over our heels. Let's picture a string pulling the crown of the head up to the ceiling and that same string dropping a plumb line down between our heels. Soften up those knees and shrug and release the shoulders. Again, shrug them up, drop them down. Nodding the chin to the neck, we'll give a little side to side turn. Looking over one shoulder and over the other. Let's face forward and tip that head side to side. So look upright again. One hand comes to the breastbone, gently press back, gently draw down. Look up to the ceiling, lengthen out through the jawline in the front of the neck. Look down toward that hand, lengthening out through the back of the neck, all the way up toward the head. Inhaling, we look right back to center. Drop the hands down, we bring our feet together. Let's inhale those arms up and overhead, turn the palms toward each other and press them together. Big breath in as we reach those fingers up. We breathe out, bringing everything into center. Excellent work. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks for being here.